A full 5 minute. Yeah. How's it going to me? How's it going? I'm doing well. Happy to see you. Happy to see you. I haven't had the time to watch your comments though. I saw that you put some. I saw the Amazon affiliate link. That's a good one. Guess who's back? What's up, Stan? God damn. How's it going? And yes, I saw the snowblower thing. I saw it on my feed, didn't watch the video. If it's good, I'll watch it. Although, I know that I won't do the change. I know I won't. Here it's okay, still trying to get back on the same schedule as everyone. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. No, I just repaired the snowblower, so I ain't touching shit. And also, it's kind of overclocked, so it just eats snow. College personal stuff and some fun with my Gmail and other account. That's why I rejoin Discord today. Oh. Oh, so that's your name on Discord? Okay, I think I get it. Alright. I hope that when you say fun with my Gmail, it doesn't mean like you've lost a bunch of shit. I hope. Yesterday was a bad day. Oof. That's not fun. Bad days are not fun. If you want to talk about it, you can. If you don't want to share, that's cool too. It's up to you. Thank God, I set up 2FA on everything, but still some weird shit happens. Like, are you talking about like, not a hack, but kinda? Today's better. Only COVID stuff. Aw. That ain't good. I see that you, yeah, because you left some comments, I know that you watched part of the video of yesterday. So, I don't have to tell you that we are kind of done with research, and today, we're doing a couple of things. What? F.E, my Discord accidentally left all servers. Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds shitty. That sounds real bad. Not the kind of thing that we like to see. Oh, for example. Didn't know that it meant that. Now I do. Alright. Alright. I got some energy today. I kinda slept correctly. Kinda? Like, my timing wasn't good, but I still ended up sleeping somewhat. I watched it all except for the geography section at the end. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. We had some fun, Cardian and I. Yeah, we had some fun. Going full fucking finance, bro. Oh, man. Oh, okay. Alright. Today I want to do some SQL. I missed like, what, 8 or 9 streams? How's the progress? Well, you haven't missed anything, my friend. Okay, so what we did while you were gone, and I think it's probably like the type of thing where it was the same day that you didn't come in, we started doing this. So it's like the perfect timing, but we started researching for 6.19. We're done, right? We're done on the research side. I just need to make the video, so the video will be in the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's when I'll make it. I might do some edit live. I might not. Who the fuck knows? Whatever works, because I'll be out of time, right? If it doesn't work within these 3 days, I'm screwed. So, yeah, that's the thing for that. New kernel? Fuck, I have to update my machine. No, not yet. Kernel is coming next week. So, this release, unless Linus really want to fuck me. It should be RC8, so the version just before the new version, because we have a slightly longer kernel release window. Well, not release window. We have one more release candidate because of the holidays. SQL, nice. Indeed, nice. So, okay. My idea of what we're going to do today, okay? So there's a couple of problems that I've had as soon as I've dealt in SQL. So as soon as we go into how we want to think about the project, how we want to design the project, we end up in this problem where I try to think about like a concept. So let's say that's the full fucking SQL thing. I try to think about like this small corner, and then I think about how this corner will interact with this corner, and how this corner will interact with this corner, and I never end up making any sense, right? I end up becoming schizophrenic, and nothing works. So, idea. What we're going to do. We're going to make a freaking list of all the things that we would want our database to do. So today we will focus especially on how we want to lay out the AST. That's the most important thing. So we will go into where and how we want things to... Fuck, how can I phrase this? Okay, first, let's start with that. Numero uno. First thing, we need to know what we want to do with our database. So I want to list these things. So, let's get on this. Fuck it, we'll do it in a text editor. Can I interject? Go ahead. Hello, Q King. How's it going? Happy to see you. Happy to see you, brother. Quick question. What DBMS are you running? We're on MariaDB. Don't ask what question you want to answer, but what data do I have? No. Okay. Here's the reason why I disagree with this idea, but I'll let you finish, of course. If you save all data, you'll be able to answer all the questions. Okay. I agree with what you just said, but let me go one step deeper, okay? The step deeper is... Maybe you're not done. I don't give a shit. Right now, we've already got a system that works. So the system that works is the idea that we have files. Files are pretty much the file themselves. And as soon as they change, a new file ID, a new file, is created. So we have that concept. That works. That I don't think we have to change. Now, the big issue that I have is how we are going to interconnect the different systems that we have so that they are efficient and that we're not fucking retarded and that we know where we're going. I understand when you say we need to know what data, but the reality is that most data that you're talking about will be stored like safely deep into one other system, right? So right now, let's just think about file as this thing. Let's think about the file system as this thing. We're going to have like a tag system. I'm using tag, but it could be anything else that's going to manage where the lines are, like where the actual AST is, and which versions. So we need to know like how we want this to interact, And then we would need to know how... Fuck, let's make another square. How this tag system interacts with the AST system. And once we have essentially these interactions, what happens in there is trivial, right? Because at that point, we just have to create new table, new structure that fits within like the IDs that we have here or the IDs that we have here. But like, we need to make these connections have sense first. Done for now. Okay. So that's the philosophy. I just want to like outline the like simplest idea for the database, right? So let's pop up. I'm popping the fuck off. Okay, let's pop up the database. Why do you want to add emote? Okay. Triggers. Ah, yeah. I'm very triggered. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. All right. Minimum viable database. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Kinda, yes. So, we don't go in depth. We will abstract a bunch of things. Okay. No, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to do open page, full AST. Okay, that gives us like a driving idea of what the fuck we have. Okay. So let's start with the very first concept. The very first concept that we need to elucidate right now is that right now we have this file concept. So, sorry, I'm already going too fast. I'm already going too fast. Let's scroll the fuck back. Okay. What do we want? How do we expect ourselves to ask the database for thing? So the first thing that we would expect the database to do, like if we, let's focus especially on like the AST and all of those things. So one thing that we would expect to do is to be able to have a full page of AST, right? What I mean by that is that we should expect that whenever we go on a page, let's go on Bootlin. Whenever we go on Bootlin, we should be able to make one request, one simple request, and fast request that gets us this, right? Fucking hell. Bro, I hate when it does this. I think the, is it this bitch that's not working? Anyway, right? So we have the blue sections here. Those are what their scanner has scanned, what their parser has parsed. We need to be able to say, okay, so we have a version, we have a name of a file, we need to have all the AST related to that shit, right? We need to have all the tags, AST, whatever, how we name it. That's a first requirement. Basic. Full page AST. So that's the thing that we need. Now, some things that I was asking, select line from AST where file equals kconfig and version 3, order by start line. Select lines. Yes. Okay, code. Select lines from AST where files kconfig. Okay. That's a great fucking question. So right now, if I'm understanding correctly, what you're asking is, could we ask the database for which line would be unable with this specific kconfig. If you store lines of code in AST, kind of. Okay. I think this should probably be something that we end up doing, but we do it client side. Meaning that whenever we do this query, like the query for the AST, the return that we get... Okay. Let's say that we're trying to load this page. Here is how I have this worked out in my mind. Okay, I'll let you cook and explain your idea. No, it's a good thing that you're making me think, and that's okay. Here how I'm having it in my mind. My idea for now is I don't really want to handle real code inside of the database. For now, whenever we load like some page, let's say this one, what we would do is we would make two calls. We make one call to Git, and we get the full page. And we get a second call from the database. And that call from the database, what it would give us is it would swoop in and get like all of the symbols, all of the AST, so all of the logic behind it. And with these two, technically what I would be asking at that point would be the client to reparse it. Ooh, maybe I'm retarded. Maybe you're right. If I do that, I'm asking the client to reparse the thing. That's kind of dumb. Ooh. It's already parsed in the database. That's true. We get back to everything on the server. I don't think that we differ that much in beware on that point. It's just that I believe that there's some... How can I say that? I believe that we can do more on the client side and more efficiently for some things. But you're right. Here by just that's an issue with my idea that the code should be that we should get the lines of code from Git. That's retarded. We should get the code from some kind of AST, from some kind of tag. That will make our database heavy as fuck. Well, Git size. Okay. It's already parsing database. I agree. Oh no. I'm being retarded here again. The other day when we discussed, I had the idea of doing it all on the server, and your idea, which is not wrong by the way, is to offload some processing to the client, have the more dynamic experience. Yes, but okay, I agree with that. I agree that we had this difference. I'm just saying that right now, I don't even know if like that's the discussion. I don't know if that's the problem. Okay. My brain is going too far. My issue that I'm having right now is the way that we are storing things. Let's go to some C. Let's go to C. The way that we are storing things, we are storing like this, right? We are saying line 5, we have this. We're saying, oh, this function, we have this. Now the issue is that for now, we have no capacity to like put this in blue. right? Because we would have all of this. So we, like in this construction, in this new construction where the database needs to provide all of the AST, all the lines of code, let's be precise, we would need to like store a new position. Not only do we store this and the lines it maps to, but we also store like, okay, so this is of importance, and then we would have to store like subsequent things that are part of the thing, right? So we don't have to store this AST independently because it would have been contained within this. So we're going to have like that kind of management. We're going to need to do this. You don't have the name in AST? Yes, but as soon as you say that, then you restart the parsing game, right? Because as soon as we say, oh, we're just going to parse the name in AST, then all of this is useless. We shouldn't even keep the code in the first place. We should just fucking like keep the positions, right? Because right now in my construction, we are keeping the positions. We're just keeping this, not the text itself. But if we say, oh, we can just parse the name within this, we're wasting time. Show the data structure memory that you have. Do you mean like the actual code? Because that's the AST struct. Yes, okay. Because that's the closest thing that we have to what I want. Well, what I thought I want. So what we have is we have to all AST. Like I'm taking one, but it doesn't matter. We have at least line. And what line is a line position for the start, a line position, well, line position start, line position end, and char position start, char positions end, right? So like we need these position because we want to be able to place the AST correctly on a page. Well, place the text correctly on a page. But if we say to ourselves, hey, we also want to store the actual code itself, then we can, but we will also need to store a new position, which is the name, right? Which is the fun thing that we want. I thought you had the type and all the... Yes, we also have it, right? But we don't have the positions within it. So let's go... something simple, please. var declare, right? So we have an AST type. If I go to AST type, we have all of the information about the type. But like the type itself will have a location. Oh, no. Okay, location line is for pointing to the thing that it was created by, where the thing is declared, right? So if we have a struct, it won't point within the struct. Okay, you don't keep the tag / token info. Yeah, technically we don't keep, how would they call it? We don't, okay, we don't keep the boundaries for the token that is related to the name of a function or the name of a struct. Right? We don't keep line information for that. So we can just say, fuck it. We should, right? That's a valid thing to say. But it's a new endeavor, right? Yeah, maybe these questions are worth asking. Maybe those are all the good questions that we need to ask. All right, but let's just... I'll read what you said. Okay, I understand now. I thought you kept each token as a list linked to the line. Not the token. Yes and no. Fuck. Okay, let's not focus on the system that we already have, because the system that we already have is already lacking, okay? Even in my conception, it's not enough. We're already fucked, okay? First of all, let's note something at the top. Things that we need to solve. GCC compiler detect. Okay. So, like 19 token. Type int name. Something like that. I'm not sure if I understand that part. Let me just yap for half a second. I think we'll be able to like reset on the same line. All right. We should have like the idea of tokens. That could be a good idea. It could be. Could be a pretty good idea. So tokens and position of name of functions slash structs. Right? Okay. So right now, what we have. So what we already have. If we have a struct, so let's say that we have struct S, right? So struct S. We keep the name, but we don't have the position of said name. So we wouldn't be able to light it up. So we need to do this. That's why I'm writing token and position of name and function and struct, right? Because we store the name, but we don't store the position. So that's a good thing that we need to add. So from now, let's assume that we have this shit. Because without it, it's going to like become hard to design anything. Because no matter if we go with a purely server design or a purely client design, we will need both to be able to light things up without huge processing in the background, which is not what we want. So let's assume that we have this. So now we would be able to light things up like this. We can assume that we can light things up everywhere because we have some kind of like good things for that. Okay. I think you have something that made me think. I think that's a think. Okay. Okay, so the idea of having a set kconfig file. Let the client process everything with client-sided GS. That's kind of where I was going, but this amount of processing is a little unhinged, right? Because what we're asking for, let's let's go with the classic task struct. Like, there ain't no fucking way that God created something on Earth that will be able to reparse all of that shit correctly, client side. They ain't no way, okay? There ain't no way. No matter if you give the right line, it will fuck up. And it will be complicated for nothing. So we can just resolve this by storing the start of the name. Like the start and the end of the name. Or just the start. We always have obscure cookie logic. Yes. Obscure logic. So, okay. So let's just assume that we have this, right? Because if we don't, we're going to... that's going to be complicated. So now we have... Like, let's take this example. Yeah, let's take this. Right. Right now, we not only have like the full thing, but we also have the delimitation here for the name of the thing. So we have both. Easy. Resolved. Now for the kconfig. Let's focus on the kconfig for half a second. How the fuck would we even implement some kconfig logic server side and it still makes sense? Or maybe, maybe you're probably asking the same question on the other side. How the fuck would we implement kconfig logic client side? Yeah, that's probably where you're at. Fuck. Yes, MB, but we have to keep in mind that we're talking about, like, what? 30k worth of code? Are we really going to make some fucking crazy select with 30k? Oh, maybe I'm retarded. Oh, sorry, wrong file. I'm too giddy. 142 kibibytes. There ain't no way we can load this in. So we need to, like, find a bypass to this. So what we could... that could be everything is possible with enough GS. True! Okay. That could be a menu on the client. Just make Python run in the in-browser somehow. This won't help us. Yes, there is an online menu config. It exists. It probably does not load anymore. Because these fucker have some very good fun to fuck with me. And there's this too, right? This is very cool. You can just click on a config and it will tell you a bunch of shit. So maybe instead, what we could do, so that will allow to add selection where clause of the select. Okay. Let's... Everybody, on hold, soldier. Okay. Here's maybe a better idea. How about holding? Hold! Okay. We know that we are able to do the relationships between different things in kconfig. Meaning that we know what depends on what in kconfig. That's something that we can pre-process beforehand. So what we can do is we could pre-process like a couple of quick things, right? So the first thing that we could pre-process is the loading of the file itself. So we could say, what kconfig do we need enabled, or yeah, what kconfig do we need at yes for this shit to be loaded? That should be the question number one that we have. So we like find a logical way to get that and we store it somewhere in our database. And the next question would be for subsequent ifdef. I'm not going to have an ifdef just to fuck with me. Ifdef. For these ifdef, well, technically the ifdef, we would need like the actual thing to be triggered, to be true. So that would be easy, trivial to do client side. But the only thing that we would really need to know is know if the thing would be loaded in the first place, which we can pre-calculate. What is Redis? We will need speed, brother. Real-time data platform. And what does it fucking do? Oh, it's a database. Fuck me, bro. We'll implement it again. Holding until fully cooked. Okay. Okay, so then let me explain it from the start. On the parser side, we parse. Is this file? Fuck. Phrase again. Sorry. From the parser side, when we parse a file, we check to see what kconfig does this file need to be loaded. We store that information somewhere. And what we can do is whenever somebody is in that specific mode where they can do the kconfig magic, they can do everything client-side, because whenever they click on a specific file, they're going to be able to load in this specific value that will check with their kconfig client-side. Hey buddy, you don't have this shit enabled, so it doesn't work, right? So that's something that we could do fairly trivially. That would not need some fucking, like, server magic and recalculating a bunch of time. And it would actually give us some more insight, right? Because we would be able to say, okay, well, this specific file is unable or not unable for this reason. That might be cool, right? That's not something that we have explicitly stated anywhere. So that's the full idea, right? So then, client-side, whenever loading the full page, we would be able to say, okay, there's an ifdef here, and the ifdef is coded in such a way that it's able to say, okay, from this line to this line, fucking disable it, and it would just collapse the line, but still show something so that we know that it's been collapsed. Redis in combination with MariaDB or MySQL is insanely fast and perfect. What does Redis even do? What would I use it for? Server magic is just table join. But I buy what you are saying, and I'll let you continue on that path for now. Okay, my issue with the idea of the server join is that you cannot do a server join with a kconfig, right? Or, okay, I want to hear you on this, because I feel like I'm on another planet, and what you're saying just, like, does not fit reality. So, how would you want this 5,000 lines of bullshit to be processed? Like, okay, maybe half our comments, but how would we want to join this? Open kconfig. Are you asking me because you want me to, like, see this and be like, oh, okay, because it's a part of that file we don't need, or because it's part of that file we need? That's not a real thing, because these pointers are just there for menu config. They're not actually there for the compilation part of things. It's kbuild that uses these. So it's like two separate things. Anyway, maybe I'm yapping too much. All that would be in the table with link between each section. Oh, it's okay. Yeah, my issue... I'm sure I'm going too fast, but it's that... Fucking hell, I hate when it does that. Like, kconfig and kbuild are two different things. The way the kernel builds the kernel itself and the way that kconfig are configured are handled separately. And they're not related. We would have a link with the kconfig selection and all the defines that come with that. Yeah. I don't see... Okay, I don't see how it's unrealistic to have a link with a full config, as anybody on their computer... Well, we could give like some vanilla config, of course, but anybody on their computer would be able to generate these. Like maybe for this part, which talks about the compiler and the actual platform, like this may be a little different, but everything else, that's like automatic shit. I might not understand how kconfig and the defines works. Alright. No worries. Alright. Qking, I don't know Redis, and it sounds cool, but I don't know how it would actually help me now, so maybe we'll do something with it later. Kconfig allow to select the arch. Yes. So let's just keep that open. From my understanding, the arch should be somewhere in here. Can I do like X86? Config output format. We have one here, and we have config X86. Sorry, it's so small. I'm sorry. Okay. Config 64-bit. Yes. Config X86 64. Yes. Right. So these are at yes. And of course, we would have something else if it were another architecture. So it is a series of defines. Yes. Kconfigs are defined. So a selection of kconfig creates of kconfig values create a bunch of define. Yes, the .config file that you create through the kconfig system, it's just what you pass through a -d, right? It is literally just that. Those define are used in indefinite. Yes, exactly. And if there's custom values, they're using ifs too, right? Like this will be using ifs. Okay. Okay, we're gonna need to hold the code itself in the database. Okay, so all that could be in the table and filter code that is in indef. So all that could be in a table and filter code that is in a ifdef before returning to the client in our select. It would need to be, but it would be ridiculous to ask it to be, right? Do we agree that it's a unhinged ask to ask the server to be able to load in 100 like kilobytes of things from one selection to another? Because I want the client, sorry, not the client. I want the people using this thing to be able to load in the config of their choice. Not just like our own created little configs. So if we want that to happen, we certainly cannot pass over these configs from the client to the server. At least in my view, that sounds impossible. I'm trying to understand how it could be simpler to do it the other way. Or how could it be more efficient? It would not be unhinged, but Let's do on, like you say. The reason why I'm saying, yes, the reason why I'm saying unhinged is because I don't. Can we even give that much detail to MySQL? That's anyway. Stupid evil keyboard. No, no worries. Anyway. Okay. Okay, so we need to store all of the code in the database. Alright, if you want. I'm all good with that. Okay. Okay, so that's a thing that we need to be able to do. So now let's put this, like, let's write this. All the code being drawn will come yes, okay, will come from us. Will come from RDB. Okay. Okay. So that's a thing that we need to do. So now we have the position, we have the code stored in the DB. We can just like get everything and then do some magical processing client side to unfuck it. So that's, we already can assume all of that. Now let's just think about, let's think about default things, okay? Very simple things. All right. So now we have a file. Now we need to define what the fuck is in there, okay? What's the thing that we link to the file, to the concept of a thing, of this fucking text? How do we link this to all of the element within the file? So what we probably want to do is something a little bit like this. But here, I think I'm retarded. So here that was like my first concept. So we have the file, which is the same thing that I was talking about earlier. And we have after that a bridge tag, which combines a file ID with a tag ID. And the tag ID is there to point to a specific time frame, whatever the fucking type is for the thing, the name of the thing, and a bunch of other things. Right now, let's just focus on the first two things. Okay, let's focus on this and this. It's a blunder to have the line ID in here. We don't need it there, okay? We need it in tag. I think that's how I want to think about this. Or maybe we do, maybe we don't. Yeah, we need to. Okay. So we need separate concepts here. Let's outline our different concepts. Let's outline our concepts. Okay. So right now, we have a file. The file stores an instance of a file. When the file changes, the FID changes. Okay. Let's just use, yeah, that's good. FID is file ID. Okay. Now we could create, let's just set more definitions. File, name, ID. Okay. That's like Very easy to understand. Okay. The next thing that we create. So now we have file name ID. We have a file. We probably need to store as well something that I want to call tag. It can be called anything, okay? If you have better names, I'll take it. So my idea of the tag is that we have something that will store... Fuck. It will store a couple of things. So it will store the position. It will store the versions of something being affected. And it will also store a pointer, the ID of something AST, of some AST. So the tag stores line numbers. It would store version, a version range, and an AST ID. AST. It would stores the computing concept not related to a specific file / line number. Okay. Okay, let's think about this for a second, right? So we have a file points to multiple tags, and these tags will then point to some AST. So what we can do is we can reuse the AST concepts. So the AST is really just the concept itself. So it's, if we were to look at our thing, it would be, if we have a pragma, it would be the text that's in pragma. If we have a type def declare, it would be the name, and it would be the type of the type def, right? So these things, they're like computing concepts. We don't need to bind them to a fucking line number or to some specific text besides the name itself. And the tags, they handle the line shit and the version. That, to my brain, makes sense. Where this now fails to make sense is when we try to ask the question, hey, for how long has this specific concept, let's say task struct, or like this specific define, for how long has it existed? Or for how long has it not been modified? Because as soon as a tag will change a line number, like this is fucked, right? It will create a new tag. So that's food for thought. In the AST, you need to bind them to the version, define, and file, because they can be defined multiple times. Yes, that's why we won't define the AST. Like the AST, we will use ID, not names, right? So we could have multiple AST for the same concept defined differently. It doesn't matter to us. Oh, but you're right. As soon as we switch versions, we're fucked. You're right. Alright. As soon as we scale things up into versions, this concept does not work anymore. Alright. We're good. You should keep the tag without the line number, but you have a link to a table with a version and a line number. So that version 3 is at line 56, version 4 is at line... Yeah, that you're right. So this is actually not a blunder. I was smarter back then. So this idea here to have the bridge tag, which is essentially the link between file and the tag, to have a line number inside of it, that's good. Okay. Okay, so bridge tag is good. Let's not touch it. Alright. Now something that I want to explore that might unfuck my brain is the idea that we don't necessarily point to a tag, but we point to the... I'll sound like Trump. We point to the concept of a tag. Okay, so we point to a group of tags. So what we could do, so we could create this G tag. Bro. So we have this G tag, and G tag has a specific ID, and what we would have is inside of the table that managed the G tag, we would have the ID of the G tag combined with the second one, with the second column, again still part of the primary key, which would be the version. So then what we could do is we could just look through the history of a specific tag by going through this table. And we would see how it changed because of the change in the version, and maybe I'm being retarded here. Fuck. I think I'm just phrasing this badly. Okay, let me just assume that this is right. Okay, let me assume that this part is all okay. The part with the file, the part with the bridge tag. Let's focus on what a tag should be. You have that with bridge tag. Yes and no. Okay, here's my issue. How do we... Okay. That's why I wanted to write down the questions, but I know that I won't be able to think of it that way. Right now, when we're thinking in that way, right? We're thinking we have a file ID, and we want to get the information for what tags we have linked to that file ID. That's simple. Now let's reverse it. Let's think that we have a specific tag. So let's say that we're on this, and we want to check, ooh, this thing. When did this specific thing change? Not when the line changed, but when this specific thing changed. And we should be able to click it and have that detail. Well, performance will disallow that, right? Because what you're asking, just think about it, right? What you're essentially asking is you're asking to either make an incorrect select, which would be select all the versions and that file name and return those that have a tag with this name, right? That could be something that you could do. But this is incorrect, because if the tag changed names, you're fucked. If the tag, if the file itself changes name, you're fucked. You don't keep your continuity there, right? And there's no ability to. Like, even if you were to, like, create a new table to try to join these things, like the process that we're outlining here is wholly inefficient. Select all version where, yeah, as soon as you do that, we're done, right? This is wholly inefficient. You need a table to manage the name change or split. Yes, I agree that we need that table. I'm just saying that it's not, like, we cannot realistically do it that way. Like, select all versions. I know that we're, okay, at that point, as soon as we do that, we remove one step of normalization. Because we're trying to attempt two different things at once, right? We're not only going that way, but we're also trying to go the other way. So because of that, we need some redundancy. But keep in mind that redundancy is not as much a problem for us because we're not trying to run a server for people to connect into. We're running like just a database that what I mean is we're running something in read-only. In the model I shared with you a while ago, I had to add that table to follow these operations. I'm not even thinking of normalization. Okay, let's check what you sent. Because I feel like either I'm not understanding something, or holes will be poked. Wait, there's no fucking way it was that far back. I skipped it. Bro. Brain, please? Do we talk that much? Do we? We do, I guess. Or maybe, just maybe, I'm retarded. Okay. No. Did you delete it? Oh, did you put it not in our conversation? But like, oh, okay. I'm dumb, sorry. Sorry, I'm dumb. Was public. Alright. DB def first draft. Okay, let's go with this. Oh no, not the link to all of my porn. Okay. The memes are real. Okay. Okay. File instance ID. Meta table and bottom. Okay. Okay, yes. Wait. Where meta table? Meta stuff. Meta split link. Okay. Okay, yes. Oh, okay, I'm a retard. That's good. Yes. Okay. I agree. I agree that we need this. I do not disagree. My issue is that our construction right now, it is shit. It does not work. It works only one way. And that's not something that is possible. Like, maybe I'm just not understanding this. With those two tables, you can follow all the split rename. Okay. Yes. Think about what you're asking here. So here, what we're saying, let's just think about the query here. So we're doing first query to know the version. So, okay, when did these lines of code change? Not the position, but the internal lines of code. So what we're going to do is we're going to first query all the versions that we have stored in the database for this specific name. Whenever we find dead end, we are going to make another query on both sides to know if it's part of that split thing. And then we need to make a new query. If we're smart enough, we're going to optimize it only one way, right? To find like the real end of the thing. I feel like that's a pretty insane query, no? Thing equals almost tag. It will be one query with a join between all those tables. It just doesn't compute. You really think that it will be fast? Wait. Is it me that's retarded? I'm just trying to understand. What I'm looking at here is the number of ifs that we have to ask. Because we essentially have to ask for all of the tags within each version, if they are this tag, for this thing to work. Because we cannot just like trust the line numbers because they might change. You sure that you understand what you're asking here? What you're stating? Okay. It's not the quantity of condition that is fucking with me. It's the quantity of things that we're querying. Because we're saying, like, let's say that this file has 400 tags within it. We're going to query 400 tags multiplied by the quantity of version that exists for that file. Which is probably in a file like SCAD, the whole fucking history. You have less. It will be indexed. Alright. Alright, if you believe in it, I'll stop thinking about it. Yeah, I know. Once it's indexed, it's fast. It's just that right now, we're not indexing shit. We're listing through all the tags to do some condition on all the tags. And that's kind of the part that is weird to me. Well, we technically could do a limit 1 on each of them to optimize it further. Yeah, okay. Okay. Maybe I can see it. Maybe I can see it. Given enough MySQL magic. It sounds insane, my brain doesn't fully compute, but you know what? Fuck it, we'll try. Alright, so I'll stop thinking about continuity in that sense. Because we don't need it. Alright. So fuck the group tag thing. It's useless. Well, maybe we're just retarded. Why are we not making a specific... Why are we not scaling up this... fuck. Where is it? No. Will I ever open the right thing? Why are we just not scaling up this for the tags? Right? Each time a tag actually change, we could make an entry inside of a bridge like this that would bridge the old one with the new one. So all that we would need to do to have all of the informations would be to bridge them all together. Oh, but then we would not have the version number because it comes from the other side of the thing. Sorry, I'm a retard. All right. Okay. All right. Let's make this shit work. Okay, let me try to understand what the fuck you sent me. Okay, things, you're saying that it's essentially tags. Or AST. Almost tags. Okay. Keep in mind that I'm not storing the information in the same way as you do. Yes, but you're fucking right, okay? So, that's the issue, okay? That's why I listen. Because whenever you tell me, oh, you can do it that way, I see how my design fucking breaks in like 5 seconds. So, it's actually good to look. Tags are split in 2. Okay, what does FK metastuff ID? Foreign key metastuff ID. Metastuff ID, original ancestor ID of the first item added to Git. Oh, okay, because in your project, in this idea, you have multiple Git under the same database. Is that the overall idea for this thing? Meta stuff allows to link an item with all the names. Oh. Okay, I said a ho, but while thinking about it, it made even less sense. I'm just going to assume that it's just for Git, okay? I'm sorry. Brain needs brainin'. So I'll ignore this. Alright, thing ID. That's our ID. FK file instance ID. So we have a file that's linked to it. Directly to it. Okay. Okay. A definition is a struct or function. Okay. Like, I don't even know if I need to, like, comment or if you already know. Right? Like, the idea of having the file ID part of thing, and not part of a different bridge that would like combine a thing ID and thing ID, file name, thing name, free code. Yeah, we would need a bridge, or else we recreate thing for things that already exist. But yeah. No. You don't have to use mine. I know that I don't have to use yours. I'm trying to understand, that's all. Because I don't understand the design. I create a thing only when a function changes. Okay. How do you link a file? Okay. Let's say the file change. How do you link it to the thing? Because right now, if a file change, but the thing doesn't change, if you're not creating the same thing again to link it to the file, it's screwed. FK file instance ID. Yeah, exactly. File instance ID could change without the thing changing. So what do we do then? Poking around. Then when I select the largest thing. Okay. Okay. Yeah, but then what do you do when something is deleted? You just like create a new thing stating that? And that would also mean that we would always read all versions for one version. In the splitting at the bottom. Okay. Okay. So essentially, the query that you're doing, if you have a file, so you're doing a where file instance ID equals whatever the fuck we found through another means. No, sorry. No, you select this, and where this is lower than whatever number, and you apply all of these, then you use the result of this to get all of these, and you end up with a bunch of thing ID that you can pass through this to make sure that it is not fucked. Select things where enough would have been what? So we don't have to have a bunch of bridge. I would create views to simplify the select. But I'll join between all the tables. Oh yeah, of course you would like join the fuck out of this. I understand that. If we need more performance. Okay. I'm not sure if I understand, and it's okay, you don't have to explain. The part that is... Yeah. The part that is fucking with me now is this specific part. So we have this array. Sorry, I'm saying array, but table. So we would essentially... all of the thing ID that we have, just to be sure that I understood, all of the thing ID that we have, we would then need to feed them to split link to make sure that they don't have a new ID null, because if they do, like, we keep it out. We have a where pretty much. We have a where that will check for the split link. Okay. Okay, that's not retarded at all. Alright. I'm not going to steal all of this because I wouldn't be able to understand it. But you're bringing some pretty good points. That could be hidden with the view. And that could be hidden with the view. Not sure I understand the last line, but doesn't really matter. Like, I know that we could like edit the query to make these things apparent, but with like some kind of a thing that we know that it shouldn't be like displayed, but if we ask it, it could. So that means that with technically one big ass query, if we wanted to, we could drive the whole fucking history of a file and all of its functions. Alright, I'm starting to love it. That was not to replace your model, just to show. Yeah, but I'm starting to love it. A view is like a predefined select. Okay. I think I get it. But that's a pretty... Yeah, I love it. So essentially here, if I implement... Yeah, I just see... Okay. Okay. I have adopted this. I have adopted this. Okay. The idea is that it becomes easy to create new tools that use the same data without having to recreate the same code everywhere. Okay, yes, I get the view thing. Yeah, the way that he... Okay, now that I understand what the fuck you're going for, Like, the construction in my mind is already more fun. Alright, I'll need to cook this. Alright, what else do I not understand in this? Okay, I'm just going to try to think about what is missing. Right, what won't we be able to do from this design that I would want to do? But right now... nothing couldn't be solved by adding another table. Alright. Just another table of shit. Like, I think, like, that part would be probably prone to maybe disagreements. Alright. Alright, I think I'll have to I'll have to cook this in my mind. I don't think I'll be able to think further than this. I think you could try to store the data with the model you have and see how it goes. No, 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 no. No, I love this idea. Unless you tell me that you know that it's going to perform like shit. Sounds pretty fun to me. And we could add what is missing after. The idea of literally pulling the whole fucking history of a file in one query is pretty interesting. And doing it... like, when I say that, the reason why it's interesting is because if we go back to what I did, we will pull the same thing 6,000 times. When with this, we will only pull the change, which is technically the only thing we want to have. So that's why it's interesting to me. Because we, like, let's say that we ignore this part, right? Like when I say ignore, what I mean by that is we just put a little mark on the things, to use your wording. If we put a little note on the things that have been deleted, so they're not shown right away, but we still have them from the query, so the client can technically just put its cursor on the thing and be able to get all of that past information right away. That's a big fucking query that, like, thing literally fixes everything. I think it will outperform. It will perform well. Greeting, Enigma. You're a little bit late. I'm about to fuck off, but... yeah, and beware is like taking me baby steps into fucking mastermind database management, okay? Yeah, I feel like now that I understand a bit more, it's way better. Okay. I would like to understand the other things. YouTube is so good at notification. We have not put one line of code. Not one. Not one. But I learned a lot today. I learned a lot. Yes, the Discord channel for streams. That's the way to know. Discord will spam your ass. It doesn't care. Wait, it's over 2 a.m. True. Alright. All right, I'll steal this and this for sure. Okay, file name, git version, project version to see if it differs, and then hash for the actual file. Commit ID. Oh, okay. Sorry, I get it. Sorry, yes. Yes, I thought of that first, and then my brain fucking cooked, and then I decooked myself. Okay, I think the only part that I don't get is definition. And token. Like, how does it link with any of this? Trying to see, but... so I have a version for each commit, so we can link them to the entry. To the entry. In things, I have a type that we split defines for sure. Oh, okay. Okay, so type would then be able to like point to a definition ID. Anyway, I'll cook. Alright, I'll need to simmer on that one. May I ask what exactly you're using for DB management? MariaDB. We are in MariaDB. Okay, so something that I want to talk a little bit about. So I have a version for each commit so that we can link them to the entry of the kernel mailing list. I agree with that. Now, so we could pinpoint where it changed. Ooh. I just saw an issue. Okay. How would you handle versions? Okay. How would you handle these? Because the release candidate, they're okay. But these... they would be kind of fucked. We would have to disregard them. Or else we're literally following multiple Git pre. Wouldn't that be an issue? Oh, a new branch? Oh no, Nigma, I'm not asking you. We're talking DB. Okay, okay. My issue here is how we would go about like doing the big flattening thing that you do with things, right? Because what we're saying here is that we do fuck, I'm so much better. So if we have a file, so this is our file. Fuck. File. Okay, so we have our file. So if we have like this part of the file that changed at that point, this part of the file that changed at that point, this part, and this part, and this part, and this part, right? We end up from the, say, on the view on the client, we flatten it into a pancake and it draws correctly. How would we do this flattening? Like, we couldn't do this flattening with the Git version, right? That would be impossible here. So we would need to use the project version, I guess. My issue here is how could we make sure that... Okay. How could we make sure that these don't interfere with this? Because keep in mind, 6.18.2, the change that happens there, is not necessarily added to 6.19, right? So how would we flatten it correctly? So those are branches. Yeah. It's a separate branch. I did the explanation, Nigma, and if you did not understand, I don't know how to do it better. Sorry, we're too deep into this. I'm like half in, half out. And until there are not merged in the main, unless you query the exact branch. Okay, let me just show what I was doing. So Bootlin, they have like this procedure. You know, I don't know shit. Wait. Simple project, Linux test. Nope, that's not it. Projects, Linux. Oh, fuck. That's not it too. It's probably here. Linux. Yeah, so they're cloning like the official Linux repo, and then we add, I guess it's the stable branch or the stable tree. Oh, it's a remote branch to the stable tree. Right, so technically we're managing multiple. By the way, I have a year of college still left, but I'm thinking about what to do to my fucking thesis. Well, I don't know. It depends what you like to do. You could try, do like me, a project for the greater good. We're trying to see if I'll have a register for the full code. So like when we do a remote add history, we're adding a branch. So I guess they would be different branch. So technically at that point, we could handle them like two different projects. Would that be the idea? Show the model? Do you mean your model? I'm not going to ask you to make a new OS, Stan. That's overdone in this community. Well, you would have a lot of people being able to help you, that's for sure. But in the code base table allows to multiple branch. All right. Okay, so the idea here, it would just be to treat them like 100% separately, pretty much, right? We look like we parse like one branch and we parse the other, but the two are not really touching each other. A Wayland compositor, true. Absolutely, I'm in. I'm in. You know what? You want a real fucking thesis? Implement in user space half of what we talk about in the next release. Just half. Oh man. Oh, I was just gonna. Okay, so we deal with them separately. Alright, we just need to keep in mind that multiple branch of a thing could happen. Okay. Alright. My brain ain't working anymore. So I'll go to sleep. But that was fun. And tomorrow, hopefully, we'll do some things for real. But I feel like I understand more your thing. It is working compared to mine. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. Fix fucking NVIDIA on Wayland. I don't have issues. What time? Oh, tomorrow? It will be the same time as today. So today for me it was 7 EST, around that. You can expect the same thing tomorrow. I'm UTC -5, so that's what it is. Though I may ask, goddamn, because you probably are more aware than myself, why doesn't Wayland have pause function for window? Because it's not part of their purview. Fuck 1 AM for me. Lol. If it didn't have written that stuff long ago, I would not have been able to help you so much. True. You did a lot. Like I said, that's why I like going into these things. And when you say to me, you don't have to use my system, I'm like, fuck you. I don't want to use your system. I want to be right. I'm just wrong. Split, delete, rename, had to conceptualize. Was had to conceptualize. Yes, my model would work too, but you've just proven some insane superiority here. Like, unless the only way that I would not like your model is if performance becomes shit. But, like, it takes half a second to switch, right? I just don't want to build onto something that will fuck me up later. But right now, the feeling that this gives me is that we're going to be able to extract way more in one query. And when I was thinking about the queries that I had to do for my fucking system to work, I was like, okay, so we're gonna do this, then we're gonna need to do that, then we're gonna need to do that. And here, it feels more like we're getting fucking everything. Take the kids. Yes. Okay, Nigma, I don't know if you misheard me, but the reason why Wayland is retarded is because Wayland had this fucking view of we want to be this specific thing and not extend over the boundaries that we've set. So this is why Wayland is the way it is. So if you see somewhere that things are retarded, just tell to yourself that the people that say, this system is too big, they're the same retard that made this. Okay. Yes, I have altered. It's always a bit stupid. This is why I love Microsoft. Okay, I'm done. Okay, I'm out. I love you guys. My brain is done. I'll go fucking eat some crazy ice cream. Bye. Yes. See ya.